Hi everybody. Today I'm working on kind of a prototype wreath here because in my head I know how this looks, I know how this works, but it's one of those things that I can't just translate without actually doing. So I've got a couple of rolls of cheap deco mesh here. This is from Family Dollar. I have some pipe cleaners, cable ties, a wreath form from Dollar Tree. I'm going to attempt to try to figure this out, and fair warning, this is actually me trying to figure it out. I don't really know what I'm doing right now. I have in my head how to do it, but it needs to be like practically applied, and we're gonna see what happens. So I'm taking all three of these rolls and layering them on top of each other. And I put the red in the middle because that was the most contrast between the silver and the white with the red there. And I'm taking the cable tie and I'm just cable tying this onto one of the braces in between all the rings. And we're gonna start off by just measuring 10 inches. Then scrunching it up right there, putting a pipe cleaner in, tightening it up, and there's our first little bubble. And then we're going to do the same thing, measure 10 inches, scrunch it up, put the pipe cleaner in. We're going to do the exact same thing again, except this time we're going to jump over the brace into the next section. So that's 10 inches. We're going from one side to the other. Now, if I had more mesh to work with, I would have done 6 sections, because I believe that's what's traditionally done when you're making these wreaths. Because I only did 3, the striping is not as apparent as it would be. It's there, but it's hard to see. You can like go in and see, oh, okay, I see how the red color moves out here. I see how the silver moves and the white moves. But if it was more deco mesh in each section and thicker deco mesh, I think that it would have made a big difference. But I don't have, deco mesh available to me. So I had to take what I could get. And if anything looks like it's not standing up the same size as everything else, just undo it, redo it again. Just remember, you're always aiming for 2 bubbles in a section and then a jump from one section to the other. So now here's our second one, which I put on the wrong side of the brace. So I'm like, wait a minute here, what's going on? So no big deal, undo it, move it over, tighten it up again. I think when I start to do things like this, I overcomplicate it. Like, I'm measuring because you have to measure, because you want everything to be the same height. You want everything to be the same size. It's just, there's, I was trying to figure stuff out, like, okay, well, if I have this many yards, and how much can each poof be, and if the poofs are, only 6 inches, 6 to a segment, then it would have to be 8 inches, and would 8 inches be, it was a lot. So my recommendation is, if you work with deco mesh already, is to just use 3 10-inch rolls of something nice. 10 inch by 10 yards. This was only 5 yards, so mine's a little thin. So here they are all done, and I'm on the last little segment. This is where we started. And I think this is where I mess up, because I do one bubble here. That's the first one for this segment. Then I do a second one. Am I gonna actually do a third? I did do a third. Okay. Guess I didn't mess up. I messed up plenty in the next part, don't worry if that's what you're here for. Alright, so now each little segment has 3 poofs. 3 bubbles. I don't know why I keep calling them poofs, because that's something else. 3 bubbles. Don't worry about where the pipe cleaners are right now, we'll clean that up later. So I'm going to take the little bit of extra here, poke it to the back, and cable tie it down just like how we started. And if you're going through the braces or around any of the rings, just make sure you don't pull too tight, because these are Dollar Tree frames and they break. So I've got that pulled tight as I can get it. It's secure. We're going to cut off the extra. And now here comes the fluffing, which this wreath was has moved around a lot with me trying to get this right. So the silver was on the top, the red is in the middle, the bottom is white. So my pattern here is starting out with white, red, silver. So I ended with silver, so the first one on the next bubble is going to be silver. And then after silver is white, and then red. Now red was what I ended with, red is what I'm going to start with. And I am figuring this out, that's why I'm like, wait, what am I doing? So red, silver, white. So I ended with white, the first one I'm going to pull over is the white one. Then red, then the silver. And you can see that diagonal start to form, because the red was first, and on the next bubble it's second, and on the third one it's going to be last. That makes sense? I just think it would be a lot easier to see if it was denser. So red goes last, then silver, then white. That's how I always remember it. Red, silver, white, red, silver, white. So we ended with red. Red's going to come out first. Maybe. Well, no, white's going to come out first. But red's going to come out in the inside. Silver in the middle. White on the outside. And because of the way I have this stack where it's silver, red, white, you always want to try to move. My head's in the way, of course, because it's a giant head. You always want to try to move the silver first, because that's on the top, so that's going to have to cross over less things. So if you can move the silver first, and then the red, and then the white, because the white's all the way on the bottom of the stack we made. So I'm just going through, and I am red, silver, whiting this. So you can really see those 3 reds, how they go on a diagonal right there. Was that dancing? I don't know what was going on. Okay, silver is going to go first, is it? Yeah, silver, red, white. Oh wait, is this where I mess up? At some point I mess this up and I go back and I fix it at the end once the bow is on, which is why this was manipulated so much, but it's always red, silver, white, red, white, blue, purple, green, gold, black, orange, green, whatever. You just have to make sure that what's in the first spot moves to the middle spot and then moves to the last spot. And they go on a diagonal like that. So I'm gonna attempt this easy bow maker thing again. I don't know why. Gotten for punishment, I guess. I have some tubing from the Dollar Tree. Just gonna throw some in there. 5-inch loops. And this is kind of a sheer candy cane stripe kind of deal. And I've been like binge watching bow making videos because I'm still not completely confident in my finished product here, but they're better. They're getting better. This is just a glittery, kind of like a diagonal plaid, like an art tile, but it's glittery. And this is just another candy cane stripe. I was trying to stay in whites and silvers and reds. And I don't actually decorate this wreath. I was just trying to figure out the striping on it. Because I really don't think I can make another wreath video at this point. I'm like, oh god. Why do you wait so long to want a wreath? I'm going through with a cable tie this time. Pulling it to the back to tighten it up, and then doing a little preliminary fluffing before I actually pull it tight. And that does not look too bad. We're a little close here. Don't worry, I'm going to fix it in a second, I think. I hope. So yeah, my pattern did get off somewhere, but I went through and moved every piece of mesh again, because if it's off in one section, it's going to be off on the entire wreath. And I guess I could have just put the bow over the section where it was messed up, but, you know, that's not how I do it. So fluff it up. Now I'm like, something's off. So I have to kind of like go rooting around. I don't even know if I had left this in when I was editing it. But I was puffing everything up, and then I was like, Yeah, see, is that it right there? In like the middle bottom of the screen? Where it goes white, silver, and then silver, white, red. Right where my hand is right now. That must be it, because we're moving stuff around. And if you don't know, the less you touch this stuff, the better you are. I touched it consistently, just over and over again, trying to get the pattern to work out. So I do go all the way around the wreath and fix my striping. Or did I just go to the bow and give up? Because that piece is still wrong down there. Yeah, you know what's easier? Move the bow if you see something that doesn't match up. Alright, and that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this and it was a little bit easier to understand, maybe? I don't know. Comment down below, like, subscribe, share, turn on notifications, and I will see you guys on Wednesday, I think? See you later. Bye.